think everything comes down to mindset. I think if you're struggling in your career, whatever that is, whether you're struggling with booking or you're struggling with writing or you're struggling with getting the attention of somebody in the industry, whatever it is, I can almost guarantee that it comes down to something mindset related. And a lot of people think that, oh, mindset's all about positive thinking and saying affirmations. And yes, that's part of it, but it's way deeper than that. It's way more than that. I work with a lot of coaching clients, personal coaching clients. So I work one-on-one with them. And I work with them for lots of different reasons. But what I have found over the several years that I've been doing this now is almost always, regardless of what the issue is when they come to me, it almost always comes down to the same things. And one of them's fear. And there's a lot of names for fears: fear of rejection, and there's fear of success, and there's fear of whatever, you can name it. But it's fear, and it doesn't really matter what the fear is. It's something that is stopping you. Fear of rejection or fear of looking like an idiot or whatever it is, it really is kind of the same thing. It's just fear. And fear usually can be broken down into something else. I was just talking with a client today, and her fear is really more of like an avoidance or an overwhelm. And when she gets overwhelmed, she gets fearful of things, and she can't kind of see straight, and she can't make the decision, and nothing gets done, right? That's how it sort of manifests in her scenario. But when you break it down, and when you get through the overwhelm, or you figure out why you're avoiding something, maybe you're avoiding something because you're afraid of making the phone call. So that they seem married, is the fear first or is the avoidance first? I don't know. But the point is, if you can figure out why, then you can overcome that. And the fear isn't so grandiose. So that's a mindset thing. There are ways to get past those fears. Other mindset is even just that professional mindset that I talked about. Mindset can be how you approach things. My mindset my entire career has been, I'm going to do this regardless of what you say to me. I'm not going to wait for someone to deem me worthy. I want to do music, so I'm going to just do it. Whereas I know plenty of other people who are like, oh, I have to have the booking agent first, or I have to have the record label first before I can do it, or I have to get rid of the day job first, or whatever. They put all these stipulations on themselves, and I just, honestly, I think it was ignorance for me. I just didn't know better. So it wasn't like I had this grandiose plan and was forging ahead. I was just like, okay, you won't do that? I guess I will, and I just forged ahead. But that was my mindset. That's how I thought about things in general. Thinking outside the box is a mindset. If it's, not straight ahead, okay, how else can I do this? How else can I make this work? So I think there's a lot of things that we blame other things or other people or other parts of the industry. That's a mindset. Blaming is a mindset, and I don't think it's ever that. I think it almost always comes down to our own processes and what we've told ourselves that we're capable of, what we've told ourselves that we're incapable of, whatever. And if you can get past those, the rest of it is super easy. I know it seems hard. Everything seems hard. Booking seems hard. But I promise you, if you get past the mindset of booking is hard, if you get past that right there, home free.
At that point, you're just doing the thing, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely it.
Yeah.
The weird thing about being a creative person is that I think we make it way harder than it needs to be on ourselves. We do that to ourselves. And I'm never, ever, anything that I'm saying this entire time that I'm talking to you, I'm never, ever talking to someone. I am including myself in everything that I am saying. I promise you. I may have gotten past some of these things but I have struggled with every one of these things and still do on a lot of days. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm up on some high horse and spouting things, because I'm not. I've gotten to all of this through trial and error and making these same mistakes. And it's just something that we all do as creative people. I think it's part of our nature. So I try not to fight it, but I try to find ways to work through it and work around it. And some of them you can actually get past. Some of it takes work, but you can actually learn to change those behaviors and those mindsets and those beliefs that we all have within ourselves and get over them. And truly, every time you get past one, it's amazing how much easier things get for you and how much less you will need to struggle.
Right. Yeah, and actually, when you talked about making decisions based on fear, it reminds me of another speech that Jim Carrey actually gave.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I forget where it was, but he talked about where basically every decision you make is either out of fear or out of love. And you can think about that as the most fundamental version of your why, if you want to think about it that way. But he goes on to tell the story about how his dad, he says, was the funniest guy he knew, and he could have been a comic,
Yeah.
But he had a family. I don't remember how many brothers and sisters Jim Carrey had, but he had this family that had to support. So he took the safe job and became an accountant. And then he says when he was like 12 years old or something, he got laid off from that job. Then they had to scramble and do whatever they could to survive. So he said, you can make that safe choice out of fear and still fail. So you might as well do what you love, which is like such a powerful message, which I think is a really cool. Where can people find out more about you, that kind of thing, before we sign off?
So Azalea Music is my main website. It's AZALEA, like the flower, music.com. But if anybody is interested in the booking course, you can get to that directly by going to ultimatebookingandtouring.com. It's all spelled out, even the word and.
And I'll put links to that stuff below so people can get to it easily.
All right, so I hope you found that information useful. If you'd like to learn more, you can download our chord and melody writing cheat sheet by tapping here on the screen. It's got charts and tips that will make writing your next song a little bit easier for you. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel to stay updated on our latest songwriting videos, you can tap our logo on the screen for that. And I'll also have links for that stuff below this video. So thanks a lot for checking this out. I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.